Hello and welcome to another review. This one is, of course, for the hotly anticipated 900 Global Zen Soul. For all the details, please see the description. It has all Angel's stats, a link to the balls page on the website for more info, plus a link to pre-order it through Bowler's Mart. Using that link associates your purchase with me, which helps me continue putting videos out, so thanks for using that. I did not order a Zen Soul. I don't seem to match up with the core that well, and I don't want to conflate opinion with objectivity, so we're just focusing on Angel for this review. Now, realistically, Angel's style offers a better look at the actual ball reaction anyway. There will be a comparison to both the Zen and the Master later in the video. Angel's wearing her Land of the Free CoolWick jersey. Rosdahl 10 gets you 10% off anything on the site at checkout. She's also got her 3G Tour X's on. Hashtag advertising, hashtag product placement. Angel's layout's the same as always, 4 5/8 by 3.5 by 2.5. We're at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas on the house shot, which is normally where we test and what we test on. The Zen Soul is easy math for the details. It's a hybrid Zen, same cover formula in S77 response, same symmetric meditate core at a 249 RG and an 051 differential in 15 pounds. Very large, strong rolling core. An early note is that the Soul is 2 parts pearl and 1 part solid, so coming into this I expected the Soul to be closer to the Zen than the Zen Master, and I think you can already tell that's the case. The ball roll is extremely familiar, just obviously the Soul is earlier and stronger, though maybe not smoother. The OG Zen can be tricky on the eyes. For such a heavy rolling ball, it's somewhat clean and somewhat responsive, but still gets lots of traction. In some situations it looks almost flippy, and in others it's pretty slow and gradual, and on your typical house shots that can be cliffed, you get stability, you get recovery, and you get a ton of push if you miss in. I've said the Zen is virtually an evolution of the Marvel Pearl, very similar idea, something that's strong without being early and slow, and that's forgiving but still ends up in good shape at the pins. The classic story of something like the IQ Tour is that it's really forgiving, easy to hit the pocket with, but sometimes difficult to score with. The Zen has improved on that idea and has been one of the most popular balls on the planet for a solid year and a half now, and if the Soul doesn't necessarily up the ante, it gives you the Zen experience but for more volume. With just Angel in this video, she bowled for a while extra to transition the lanes and move around a bit to show you what it does from different angles. It gets a little slow from deep, but it's not really flat or pukey, it's just not starting up early enough. She doesn't beat the lanes up super fast, so we aren't getting the full effect here, but it's something. The Soul is also big on forgiveness. She's got a ton of room left to right. I think the Soul gives her more forgiveness on misses right because it's picking up sooner and stronger. The Zen will still get there, but sometimes is a little late and behind it. However, the Soul being stronger still wants to pick up and go if she gets it in or gets slow with it, where the Zen tends to sit there. Now conversely, once she gets in a little bit and adds some angle, she gets a ton of hold with the Soul, but still has finish at the point where the Zen might start to wiggle. Ball roll and shape is extremely similar to the Zen, more of an arc shape that wants to be slightly forward off the end of the pattern, and again, being forward isn't a bad thing, it helps the ball get to the pocket easier. Stuff that's really continuous looks sexy, but it can be harder to score with because the ball's just picking up and driving. With more continuous stuff, you might get more forgiveness if you dump the ball, but you're also more likely to leave solid single pins when you ace it. With something like the Zen shape, it gets to the spot or the break point and kind of settles into the pocket, plus it lets you control the reaction more. If you want it to get to the spot and stop, you can make it do that, but if you want or need it to be continuous when you move in, you just have to get around it a little more. It's an incredibly forgiving shape that also allows you the ability to manipulate and control that shape as well. Taking a look at the Master, you can see some familiarity, but it's quite a bit earlier and smoother than both the OG and the Soul. There's definitely a bigger gap or jump from the Soul to the Master than there is from the Soul to the Zen. I really need to find a two-hander with a Master to get some footage for because it's pretty impressive. I've explained this before, but whenever I do comparisons, I usually use the original review footage for comparison because comparing a freshly drilled ball to one that's got like 50 games on it on the same lane at the same time is still less accurate than comparing a freshly drilled ball on a freshly oiled lane to another freshly drilled ball on a freshly oiled but different lane, if you get what I'm saying. Filming a ball video can be a logistically tricky proposition. I'm a big fan of how JR Pro Shop and Luis Napoles organize and present their videos, but at the same time it takes a couple games to break in a ball and see what it really does. Now, either way, this is why I do mine the way I do, so that you can see a bunch of shots with freshly drilled balls on freshly oiled lanes. Anyway, Zen Master, I almost feel like the Phase 2 seems more like a solid Zen than the Master does. I feel like it needs a bigger rev rate to be all it can be, so to speak. Angel likes the Soul quite a bit. I'm sure you could see that throughout the video, and I really think if you like the Zen, you'll like the Soul. It's a well-designed complement. Once again, if you want to get it pre-ordered, it releases May 27th. Drop down to the description and follow my link, or if you want a pair of those Tour X's, or really any bowling supplies that Bowler's Mart has to offer. Also, lots of information in the description might save you a question by checking down there. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.